Yes, good morning. Welcome to SaltX Technology Year-End Report 2020. Carl-Johan Linnér speaking, and with my side here I have Harald Bauer, CFO.
Good morning to everyone.
As usual, we have done this a couple of times now, and we would like to share with you some pictures and make some short presentations here. We will have questions and answers after that, and you are of course welcome to put questions anytime into the chat, that's for sure. I have to say before I start that the report has not been published yet in English. It's been published in Swedish, and apologies for that, but it will be done shortly. So you know that if you are searching for it, you will not find it yet, but shortly you will find it. Okay, so we start a presentation. The first page here, as you can see, it's a new picture, and if you don't know what it is, so I can tell you it's limestone, and the picture is taken from our supplier Nordkalk, a typical limestone situation where they have this in stock outside. Right, this is SaltX. We are experts in storing energy with salt materials. Slightly change from last time here. We said last time that we are expert in nano coating with salt material. We think that we see this as an important step, that we are looking into salt materials to store them in a wider shape also. The base for the whole company is, no doubt about it, is the core technology, is the nano-coated salt, and that's where we have the patents. We have a couple of patent families, and the strategy and the decision that we have taken since some time ago is that we want to focus on the large-scale storage, and that means more than 10 megawatt hours in capacity. What you can see in the bottom, the picture is taken from Berlin, and that's an installation that we had an opening ceremony in April 2019, and it's a half a megawatt, 0.5 megawatt in size, and the capacity is 10 megawatt hours. It's a pretty big installation, and at the moment that the installation in Berlin is under lockdown due to the corona situation, so it's still there, but that's partly the reason why we are building our own pilot installation in Stockholm instead of developing that one further on. The number 7, 13, 11, 9, that refers to the IPCC concept, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and that's what we are working with, and we think that it feels good that we are doing and that we are connected to the UN FM situation target with the global heating and so on. This is what we are really having our highest interest in the whole company, and we think that we are doing a good thing for the environmental situation. The need for peak shifting, we have talked about that a couple of times before, but the changes tends to be bigger from the bottom to the top, and if you look in Sweden only, we have during a very, very long time in the past never ever had such a big variations here. But last year, 2020, I think we had 3 times negative prices for the first time in our history. And this is not only Sweden. We can see it from all the heavy wind park installations. We can see it from other PV installations. Scotland, we have some facts there that it's from time to time they have negative prices. And that the ideal situation would be that to charge our salt in energy storage at that point where we not only get the charging, we also get some money to charge it, and then we are making the hydration, the discharging when it's more expensive. And this varies. This is just an example here from AM to PM, as you can see, but this varies from case to case, of course. What are then the drivers for the energy storage? Well, we have said that you can divide it into three major arenas. One is the policies, the politicians and the regulations, and the governments in EU push a lot now, and it seems to me that sometimes there is a competition between the countries and the various governments that are planning for global climate changes, and the one after the other comes up with a timetable. Even China have come up with a plan. Even it was a very long time in the future, but still, it's a very important signal for the whole world that China is making this. Many people thought that China would be the last one to convert from coal, as they are using a lot, to fossil free. But they have now said that they will do that. I personally think that this takes too long time, really, and it get too slowly the changes, but it's better than nothing. The effects on renewable, we know that the negative prices in Sweden, as I said earlier, and the wind power stands for 40% of the production, and we have the negative prices, as I said, and looking on various facts and various calculations from experts, they say that roughly 17% of the renewable energy production needs to be storage capacity. What does that mean? Well, it means that if we're going to follow the plan for the renewable, it means that we have to install 100 megawatt hours energy storage every day until year 2045. So that gives a dignity of the potential of the business that we are into, and of course every day that we will not install an energy storage of 100 megawatt is a lost day in a way. Actually, it's the renewable installation that goes too slow also. But it says to us that we are in a very interesting high potential market niche here. The new green era, Bill Gates and other, there's a lot of other things. This is only an example, are spending money and supporting most of the clean tech companies. And they really see that it's an opportunity to make business, but also to make this a footprint in the environmental situation, to change it into the better. And you can see on every day on the newspaper, for instance, the social media in Sweden, Aftonbladet and everyone have started a report on the environmental situation on a daily basis. That every day they will actually make some comments and some articles about the situation. So it's a lot of push from the general public, and that this has to happen not tomorrow, it has to happen now, and that's a very important message. And a lot of people talk about this, that it will happen, it must happen now, but we think that it could go faster, but we will see. We are in a situation where we are targeting and the large size of energy storage. And as you can see from this picture here, we have a limit of 10 megawatt hour in energy capacity. There is no it's not written in stone. There's this limit here, of course. It depends from case to case. But around that level, 10 megawatt hour in capacity, and we are not charging and discharging every minute or every second. We are more into days, hours and days and weeks and months to do the storage duration. It means that we have as you know, we have the situation that we could store the energy regardless, and keep the energy in the energy storage regardless of the time that we are storing it. So that's a good advantage to us. We want to remind ourselves and you as a shareholder also that our mission is to develop and offer sustainable technology, a solution that will clearly benefit customers, the climate, and the society. This is what we are having to breakfast every day in our office here, and we really like this idea that we are doing. We are a small piece, but still we are making some sort of difference in the future. So a quite important message to you is that we are now talking about product applications and the development. And the base is, of course, that we have the non-coated salt as a platform here for all those applications. And the three applications that we are talking about is heat to heat, power to steam, and power to power. Heat to heat is we haven't maybe talked so much about that, but we see a big demand on that on the market, and particularly if you really have the waste heat, excess heat that you could utilize to charge the salt, you will have a very good situation when it comes to the economical situation, of course, and then you will discharge it with a high intensity of the steam. I will come back to that later on also. Power to steam in the middle, that's the product application that we did in Berlin. We actually started with fossil-free electricity, and we got out the steam to the households in Berlin. So that is what we have talked about most, I think. Then the third one is power to power. And the power to power is maybe the one that the people talk about more, mostly of, that it's power to power, similar to lithium-ion batteries. And of course, we are not that far in this product application, but we have started with a concept how we should do this. And as you probably know also, that we can do a combination of the steam and power situation also if the customer wants to do that. The waste heat is a particular of interest. I think that we have you find it in the steel industry and the cement industry and the ceramic, and we know that the waste heat is quite much. It's about 120 terawatt hours in EU, and it's particularly all industrial countries, Germany particularly, all the steel industries that they have in Germany having a lot of waste heat. And if you could utilize that instead of letting it go out in the river or that would be a very environmental friendly thing to do, but it will help a lot. And what we know is that there are very, very few technologies that could handle this high temperature as you have from the steel industry. You have more than we need 550 degrees to get the process running, as you know, but the steel industry is above that, of course. The smart cities and the industries in the middle, it's also a general trend that the cities around the world is now trying to get a solution to get it fossil free and to install, to take out the coal industry and to take various things. And it's not one solution fits all, of course. We have to find different solutions. And we think that we have a very good situation when it comes to the energy storage, energy store application here on the large scale. To fit in here, we know that the lithium-ion batteries is a great battery, but it's not optimal for steam, but it's not optimal for very large batteries. And as some of you maybe know also, we have put in an application here for Helsinki Energy Challenge. That's going to be fossil free within 2035. And the result of that, it's actually a competition that will be a winner and so on. And we will know the result of that one in next month, in March. And it's very interesting. And we have spent quite some time to put in this application. It was a lot of applications they got in Helsinki. And we have spent some time and clarified the situation, and actually got a very good picture of the need of our storage in a city like Helsinki. And that goes for all other cities also, of course. It's a copy-paste situation, more or less, you can do in all other cities. And the interest has been very, very high from all over the world here. The third thing, electrical grid scale. This is actually power to power more. We know that it's going to be a tremendous need. The electricity, it's a bottleneck in Sweden today, more the capacity than electricity maybe, but the problem is to get the electricity into the south of Sweden because it's produced in the north and so on. But nevertheless, there's a steadily increase of demand of electricity in the car industry and all other areas. So we need to build storages here. And the Bloomberg graph, as you can see there, forecasting that it's going to double 6 times in 12 years. And we are just in the beginning. We are to the very left on this curve here. Those 3 product applications that we talked about, heat to heat, power to steam, power to power. This is a picture giving you a guideline of where are we today. And the heat to heat situation, we are starting for planning a large pilot. We are just in the planning phase, in the beginning of that one. That's the reason why you have the blue dot to the left-hand side. Power to steam, that's a Berlin case, as is read. We have done the large pilot here, and today it's more of an optimization of that application, and I will come back to that. What it is actually another sort of technology when it used. What we are going to use for the reactors. And the power to power application, we are in the beginning of that and finalizing the concept. However, we have different we talk to different partners here when it comes to power that are very interesting to develop this. And of course, as I said also, it could also be a combination here that you first do the steam to a turbine, and you take electricity, and after the turbine you take the steam to a remote system. And that's the beauty with our technology, that you can tailor-made it to the customer's need. But the product applications, that's fine. But in the bottom of this one, we have the non-coated salt. That's the base. And that's very important now that the charging reactor and the discharging reactor is working good with a non-coated salt in combination. This is a picture of how it could look like with the new reactor sizes and so on. And you can see here 2 silos. That's just an example of size. And the charger, it's a technology that we call a falling bed. to actually put the uncharged salt in the top, and you get out the charged salt in the bottom. And then you have the discharger to the right-hand side. This is you can say in our terms a small pilot installation, pretty small, but it's big enough to do the scale up into the megawatt sizes afterwards. You need to have a certain size of the reactor to be able to get the results on the test to make the upscaling. And you can power it by heat, gas, electricity, and you can generating heat electricity to the right-hand side. And the charger here, just to give you some idea, the falling bed technology is around 15-20 meter high. And if you compare it with Berlin, this one is the footprint is much smaller, but it's more on the height than in Berlin, of course. But this is what the optimization is all about, really, to get a higher efficiency. Yeah. Nonrecorded salt. This is our base. As I said, a patent SaltX innovation. We have more than 20 years in development here, and the patents are there in place. Limestone-based material, inexpensive and natural. It's I mean, you can if something will happen with this, I mean, there is totally no problems at all. There will not be any explosion or any fire or anything like that. It will be a natural part of the nature. The high energy density, 500 to 600 kilowatt hours per ton, compared to water, which is about 1/10 of that. And Nordkalk and Wacker is our partners for limestone and nanocoating. You can see from the left-hand side, the picture here, this example of the salt particle, and we are coating it by nano material. And this is the top secret thing, of course, in our patents, and that's what we're building the whole company more or less on at the moment. Chemical reaction for the material, calcium oxide and water become calcium hydroxide, and that goes in circular economy, circular way, backward and forwards, charging, discharging. This picture you have seen before, and it's a summary of our offer to the market, and you can say that the high energy density is a crucial thing. But also the independently scalable thing is also crucial here. And sometimes you need to charge the electricity during a longer period, maybe, if you have some sort of seasonal thinking behind it. And then once you would use the energy, you want to discharge it very quickly, and then you would like to have a higher power to that. And transportable, very, very important also. If you find, as I said, talked earlier about the waste heat, for instance, if you find a waste heat somewhere in a steel industry, you could, once you charge the salt, you can transport it to another place, which is using some other material in the burning process. And the possibilities to store energy for months is there. And we are not losing any energy during that time. That you all know. But this is a very good picture that we have in front of us all the time, and that's the difference with SaltX. Okay, for some time ago we took the strategic initiative, and this is also very important that we take the full responsibility for pilot installations. What does it mean? Well, it means that we are taking full responsibility. We are designing the whole process, including the control system, including the reactor, all the very important parameters that we need to consider is there on our table, and we optimize the total process from the beginning to the end, and that's very important that we do that. Then we have partners, of course, to help us. We have Sumitomo Foster Wheeler, for instance, with a discharging reactor, but we have to take the full responsibility for it. It doesn't mean that we will deliver the reactors in once we are into a pre-commercialized and commercial installations, but we have to be very, very sure about the concept and that the process is working. And then once we have done that, we will build more installations. So it's based on the core technology platform, the optimization. Parallel to our main roadmap, we have the SaltX Partners roadmap, and the most important here is that, first of all, it's built on the same technical platform as our own main roadmap. No doubt about that. We have delivered the nano-coated salt to Shanglian, for instance, Shanglian Boilers in Shanghai. They have actually built their pilot, 100 kV pilot, before Chinese New Year. We will see the result once they're coming back now next week. I think they will be back, and we will see the result that we will communicate during Q2 this year, and we are very excited about that, of course. Inerco is also another important partner to us, and they are building a long-term development, and they are working with some partners in Spain and in Europe to find a good pilot installations. But they are Inerco is very, very clear on that the demand in the future is actually heat, high value heat, more than electricity. So that's our good sign for us. SaltX core competence. Well, from the left to the right, then we have a charging reactor built on the falling bed calciner. We are optimizing that, plus a discharging reactor based on fluid as bed technology that we're also optimizing, and a nano-coated salt. So 1 + 1 + 1 equal to energy storage, which is the fully scalable system. And this is really a slightly new, not a new company, but an additional competence that we are adding into the company, that we take the responsibility for the whole process. This is really a key message to all of you, that we are doing this. We have to do this. Milestone of technology commercialization. We have done the pilot installation. We have done the fluid as bed in Munich Technical University. We have done the fluid as bed construction design by ourselves here. We have the partners. Ongoing is the partnership with Sumitomo Foster Wheeler with the discharger. We have an automized mini rig fluid as bed in our test laboratory here in Stockholm, which is going to prove the number of cycles that we are doing. And we are also building the 100 kV discharging reactor now in Stockholm. Planning for later on this year, the plan is to build a 200 kV charging reactor at the same time, at the same place in Stockholm here. So that will, the target, what we are working against is that we will get a third-party verification of proof of concept of this optimized solution in this year, 2021. That we only see some pictures in the Stockholm place here, that the discharging reactor being delivered and unloaded, and to the right-hand side we see a picture of the Shanglian 100 kV pilot installation, as we talked about. Sometimes it's good to see some real pictures of not only text. So Harald, I've talked a lot now. Now It's your turn to talk about the financial events.
Thank you. To complement the situation and explain the SaltX development from a financial perspective, I'd like to add a few things. So what's taking place from financially in the company? If we go back a few quarters, we were in a retracting mode where we reduced costs by reducing staff a little bit, and we saw that our spending were lower, though now in the fourth quarter they have increased, and we see that continuing going forward. Some coming from some new hires, not many, but one or two more colleagues contributing to our competence and our capacity to then go on with our pilots. We've launched the Stockholm-based pilot with new technology, as you've heard, with fluidized bed rather than the technique that we used in Berlin. And we can then see that we have started to invest in that pilot, and there will be further investments in that pilot and equal pilots going forward. Really, that's what we are doing, and continue to expand and develop the company as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Harald. Then we'll see if we have some questions. Yes, we do have some questions.
Will you need more funding from stock owners, or will it be to institutions before you stand on your own legs? I can answer that, Carl-Johan. So we began the year with close to 50 million crowns, and that we can take us far into the year. We also know that in one of the rights issues we've done in the past, we did it with units, both shares and warrants. And those warrants, they expire at the end of October of this year, and they have a strike price of just under 13 crowns. I'm fully aware of the fact that the current share price of in the order of 5 to 6 crowns or so is below 13. But if we reach that level and these warrants become in the money, as we say, that would possibly lead to an additional 100 million crowns to the company, which is, of course, very useful. Other source of finance is, of course, public means, and we have been granted such funds from the Swedish State Energy Agency, as well as that we continue to apply for such funding. However, though, a capital increase from our share base could not be excluded, and whether that then will be through our shareholders or through institutions is something that we will see what solution we will look for.
I can take the next one. When can we expect results from Shanglian? CJ said that they will only test for 7 days. When they will know. Did it backfire? If not, when can we expect an end customer from China? This is what we talked about, yes, and this was the information I got from Shanglian. We think we would pretty much know that they probably need slightly more than 7 days. I wouldn't say that they have underestimated the complexity here, but they have mechanically finalized the installation now, which is very good, and we have seen pictures on that one, and they will start the testing now next week, and we will know in Q2. We will know the test results, and the lessons learned that we have done in Berlin and so on is that sometimes you need to make some modifications and you need to test it again and so on. This is the first time that they are building such an installation in China, and so we have all the respect that it takes time. But Q2 is what we say now. We'll see the results.
Next question: when will you turn positive results? And of course, we do not disclose our projections of when we will start to generate revenue and eventually generate positive results. We only explain how we plan to go there and how we plan to, and that is, the plan is to continue to develop our technology and proving to the outside world that our energy storage is something very interesting, and thereby creating references, first of a smaller size, as we've seen in Berlin, and we are soon seeing in China, as Carl-Johan just explained, and in Stockholm. And we will increase the sizes of those pilots and turn them into eventually commercial pilots, and eventually we will be able to thereby generate revenue and positive results.
Another question, CJ mentioned India in the latest podcast. Can you develop your thoughts there? The thoughts are really that we take it more from the product application perspective. We know, as I said, that heat-to-heat, for instance, is a very interesting application, and we have some we have some interest from Indian steel producer. It's way too early to say, but we do not want to build the pilot installation in India as a first thing we do. We want to build it closer to ourselves, and so we have full control of it. So once we have that, we continue to talk to them, of course. But if I remember right, when we did the podcasting, there was another thing on the table, and that was really the cooperation of any store that they want to buy the technology from us, and that discussion is not ongoing at the moment.
Here's a question: will you by selling only non-coated salt ever generate positive results? It's not our plan to only sell non-coated salt. That's one of the strategic decisions that we have explained during the course of the day here, that we are increasing our offer by developing it also with the process and the reactors, and thereby presenting how we develop the company and our technology in eventually reaching revenue and positive results. So the base will not only be non-coated salt, but also technology and know-how around a complete solution.
License fee, etc. What do you think a good position in Helsinki Energy Challenge would generate for SaltX? Will the city of Helsinki go further with projects in the competition? I think this could create a very good thing for us. We will see, of course, about the results, what happened. But I personally very much like the approach that they have taken in Helsinki, that they take a helicopter view of the whole city, and then they are doing the best of the situation. But once, we will see. We will see about the results of it, and I can't say very much more than that. And but I think that the response could be very good.
Then we have two questions on China. Is it power to steam?
It is power to steam in China. Shanglian is developing power to steam, yes, correctly.
And then there's a long, and of course, as we explained, we see great potential in the interest from China to reduce the carbon-based heating systems and to make them fossil-free. And we believe that our solution for energy storage will be very interesting for also the Chinese market. And we note the details of this question. Can I read the question, or is it only us?
You can read it.
Okay.
It's only 40 years away that they're going to be new. But I mean, I have to say that the Shanglian boilers pilot installation is creating a lot of interest from the local utilities in China, and they are really following it. And we are also now, once we have the results, we will invite the key people and the key customers to this. And depending on the corona situation, we will see if we can be there or not. But otherwise, there will be a local event.
When will we be able to present results from the current pilot in Stockholm? It's the question. And as we've explained, we are setting up first the uncharging reactor, and we will do tests. We will erect it and get it running, commission it and everything. And we expect to have results from it during the course of the second quarter. And we will then also put in the charging reactor and expect to be able to present results from the complete solution during the course of the year, without mentioning whether that will be Q3 or Q4. We hope it will be Q3, quarter 3. When you start, I've already answered that. When we believe SaltX will be, we will start to generate cash when we have a positive results, and that will come from revenue exceeding costs. Basically.
Another question about possible discussions in partnership in India and North America. Yes, we have some discussions, and we believe that the changes of president now in North America really changed the basic situation, of course, also, but there will be a lot of made in US perspective also. So we take it, as well as for India, we take it from the product application perspective. If we have a heat-to-heat installation, as we could very well have in North America, we will take it from there, but we need to have our pilot installation verified and proven before we can go over to the Atlantics.
How long time do you have on your patents? The strategy is, of course, not only the base patents, but also that we continue to obtain patents for applications and for solutions going forward. And here at this minute, I can't say exactly which year the base patents expire, but there are at least a decade or two left in the value of them, so that will continue to practice well for the future as well.
An interesting question here from Bank is also that will Shangliang go direct to pre-commercialization? That's a different word to say. After the demo testing in Q3, and when can we expect that, Q3 or Q4? I mean, there's no doubt about it that Shangliang is going for a pre-commercial installation after this relative small pilot installation that they are doing right now. How they are thinking, how they are planning, what's their time schedule, honestly, I have no idea. But I mean, I would guess only that they have an interest in doing this as quick as possible, due to the fact that the very, very large utility companies in China is watching this, and they see a window of opportunity to do this very quickly. But I have no idea the planning. I can't tell you.
That then.
Yeah, that's then the questions. Mm-hmm. And again, thank you very much for calling in and to listening. And I think we had very, very good questions here also on the table. And once again, excuse for the reports not been published yet, but it will be shortly. And we look forward to a very interesting 2021. That's for sure. So I hope that you are with us, and thank for your listening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.